I saw this, I had the same I had the same feeling as a few people in chat where I was like, this is an instant watch. Even for me, I mean, I'm not a huge consumer, but yeah, even I saw this and was like, I definitely want to watch that.
There are a lot of chess openings, good and bad. The one opening that everybody has an opinion about, positive or negative, honestly, often a bit too negative, is the London system.
Thank you.
And
Thank
today
you.
I'm going to teach some of the nuances to players at completely different levels.
I have never played chess.
Gotham obviously made a couple of videos about it.
I like these videos. I mean, the London will be interesting, but I like these videos where they teach the various levels.
Hey, what's up? I'm Arteezy. I used to play Dota professionally, and I have never played chess. I played it one time 3 weeks ago with my dad before this. So this is gonna be interesting. I heard there are a lot of openings to learn from.
Yes, okay. That is a
It's not as good as yours, but
that is an unfamiliar challenge to me for sure.
well, you never taught anybody who, from the get-go, like zero experience?
Well, I'm not a chess teacher.
True.
So that's true. So that's the problem. Well, I think starting out in there are a lot of things you can learn kind
I
of
think
starting out in chess.
he's stressed.
But playing with the white pieces, it's normally a little bit more forgiving than playing with the black pieces. Often with the black pieces, you have to react a little bit more. So this is what I'm recommending, or not necessarily recommending, but this is what we're going to be talking about now. So you start.
I'm just gonna say I heard recommending. He changed his tune for the video, but we all heard him say recommending. That was the truth came out there. Okay? That's Magnus's official recommendation. Right? Confirmed.
Start by moving this pawn. Firstly, when it comes to safety, right? So this move is protected by the queen. That equals safe. This move opens up for the queen, for the king, and is not protected. That is not safe.
You hear that? D4 confirmed the safer and better option recommended by the very best.
Also, here you have all sorts of nasty moves, like you can go here, and things get opened up. So this is what we start with. And the good thing is that unless this square is protected, next time we're bringing out the bishop. Like, no matter what.
Okay.
We're just bringing the bishop out.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is that we want to set up a very solid pawn structure. We want to set up this structure so that everything here, these are all protected. But before we do that, if we did this guy would be very unhappy because he's blocked in by everything.
He can't move.
He
Flat
can't move.
spaces.
Yeah, no space. So that's why we're bringing out this guy first. So we
I feel like
here.
this is
Protect the bishop, protect this pawn.
like I don't know if it's the editing that's making my brain think that the guy he's speaking to is not understanding anything he's saying because he could just be retaining it all. But I feel like the explanation is pretty good so far. And they're trying to make me think that this guy's completely dense and has no understanding. But like he's quite talented at a different game. Like I'm sure he's retained. This is not too complicated.
It's basic stuff in that sense. Your opponent plays here. Now, if we take this, that's possible, but that
Isn't it just a trade then?
yeah, your opponent will probably win back the pawn somehow, either with like a queen check or going here and taking the pawn. But we're not looking to trade those. We're not looking to trade those pawns. We're looking for a solid structure. So we go here.
So are all these openings like predetermined? Like everyone knows that these things are happening? Like you and
This
reaction?
Yeah, so that's the good thing about this opening, that our first few moves are pretty much predetermined.
Okay.
So like unless your opponent does something crazy, you can do this against everything.
Okay.
So here, if your opponent
Like
takes
this could just be how this guy processes information. I feel like if I was listening, I would also be kind of like, okay. They're making me think he's not understanding anything, and That's like wildly unfair.
the pawn that you usually take back.
Getting tricked
with
by
this
the
one.
editing here.
Because if you take with this one, you expose yourself to potential checks, and you don't want to do that. Now everything's protected. Now you can start developing the other pieces. So you can bring the knight out. Knight is protected as well. So here, again, another protected square. Knight comes out. Move the bishop out, not too aggressively.
I remember one thing my dad was telling me. He said you can move the king and you can castle.
You can
when
castle
do that?
So this is what we're getting ready for.
Shout
Let's
out,
say we go
Pops.
here.
Shout
Your
out.
opponent does the same. Now you can castle.
Big dad assist.
And essentially now you have done everything you want in an opening. All of your pieces, essentially except this one, but this one can move back if you want, for instance, if you want it to be on a protected square. But every other piece is protected by another piece, and you manage to castle.
Should you not mirror?
Hey, you should mirror, yeah, for sure. But essentially here, both
Good
players have a very safe position.
So basically, the first couple moves, the first 10 or so moves in the game is basically opening, so you can start to have positions to move.
Exactly. So there are different ways of playing the opening, but this is kind of what you call system play, that you play according to a preset system rather than adjusting your strategy based on what your opponent does.
I get it. I see. Okay.
Hi, I'm Yuri again.
Oh, so the format of the video is like, okay, we just go on to the next one. All right, okay, let's see it. I thought maybe we were gonna see him like try it out, but maybe that comes later.
I've only played online, never played a Of the War tournament, but I'm a chess fan and I just love the game.
I'm sure playing online, when you're playing black, you must face it a lot. So what do you like to do when you face it?
Well, I have. It's one of the first openings that I sort of memorized the system. Gotham obviously made a couple of videos about it.
Go home. No more chess for you.
Playing against it, I think the very first thing that I like playing aggressively, so c5 as soon as possible.
Yeah. So we're talking knight f6, yeah?
Yeah.
Bishop comes out, and then you push.
Yeah, I love how he said c5 as soon as possible, and it's quite possible he meant on move 1, but then when 2800 says, okay, so you mean knight f6 and c5, it's like, yeah, of course, yeah, obviously knight f6 and then c5. I mean, men of culture here speaking about the game naturally. Check my game, check my statistics. Oh, I'm a big knight f6 guy.
Then you push the pawn. Yeah. And if your opponent goes here,
I think striking the center.
okay, so that's perfectly reasonable, and that's probably the best move. But if you're looking for a way to kind of make it difficult for people who played the
Hang on a sec here.
London,
Hang on a sec here, Magnus. What? You're supposed to be teaching the London system. I feel like are we about to switch sides here? I feel like there's some trade secrets about to leak. This is supposed to be a pro-London propaganda.
this is the one moment where you can strike a little bit.
Okay.
So, what is the weakest square in White's camp? Would you say?
Well, I mean, generally that pawn, but
This pawn. So this is normally the weakest point, but right now there is another point that's even weaker.
that's even weaker.
Yeah, there's one pawn that's not defended.
Oh, the B2 pawn.
The B2 pawn.
Crazy
yeah,
editing, right?
So what can you do
He
about
identified that in
Queen misses.
half a
So
second.
this is how you can try and catch people out. One has to go
Making
for
my
the
guy
knight
seem
B3.
dense here.
Yeah. But then, you've activated the queen and you've somewhat weakened these squares. And the main point, at least at your level of playing the London, is
B3
having
nasty, eh?
a very
It
solid
hurts to even
structure,
look
and
at the move B3.
This structure is not as
less solid.
it's not as solid. Or White can go knight to c3.
Mm-hmm.
You grab the pawn. White goes forward the knight, and then you go here with the knight, preventing this threat and attacking this bishop.
Right.
And I can assure you, most people who play the London at a certain level, they will not like facing this.
No.
Apart from that, if your opponent goes knight f3 on the second move, then there's another way. You can go d5, and then the bishop goes out, c5, Most people play c3,
Yeah.
e3 or c3. Doesn't really matter.
No.
You bring your knight out,
Mm-hmm.
and now the point is that you can bring the queen out. And once again, we're attacking here. And in 90% of cases, people who play the London system, they want to reply with the queen here. And I'm sure you've faced that as well. But in this specific case, this move is not that great.
Looks
'Cause
like
you
in
can
the
go
course,
here,
Yep.
Sphinxy,
and now there
except with
are
knight d2.
basically 3 options. First one is training the queens. The other one
We
is
wouldn't
moving
run
back.
into this trouble.
The third one is moving here. This one is the worst one. Can you tell me why?
Because I can attack with tempo.
Yes, you can attack the bishop. You can attack the bishop. You see, that's very good tactical vision.
I was going to say, he was impressed by that. I was impressed too, 850.
If this is taken, you take the
You
pawn.
take the pawn.
And now this rook is trapped.
Yeah. So funny because you're always thought that the b2 pawn is poisoned.
Yeah,
but
it is sometimes poisoned, but sometimes it's not. So essentially here, you're forced to either do this
That's what I love to
or
hear.
this.
Yeah,
So you might
sometimes,
not
but sometimes
fancy
not.
the doubled pawns.
That should
but
clear it up.
This means that the rook has an open file already, and you can now immediately also undouble these pawns. So you move forward once and twice to b4, and you create an initiative on this side. And this can actually not really be prevented. For instance,
not even a3.
yeah. So here you go b5, a3. Guess what? You
Push it. Oh right.
you push it,
Yeah.
because there's a pin on the rook.
There's a bit on the rook.
Yeah. Essentially, after queen b6, then you've already forced your opponent into somewhat unfamiliar territory, which is really all we want. Getting your opponent out of their comfort zone very early usually wins a lot of time and makes
Scammed.
people
I thought we were
flustered,
learning from White's
especially
POV.
people who only play the London system. So,
But obviously,
this is-
obviously, it's a great trick what he just showed because a lot of people play with knight f3. But in Aman Hamilton's London system, that won't happen to you. It can't happen to you.
there's a way in which you can try and be aggressive early without actually compromising your position at all, but with playing normal but active moves.
Such a cool line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Mark. My rating in ELO is 1940. I played Trompowsky. It's kind of similar to London system.
Oh,
But
Dutch.
I would now play e6.
So you play e6 against everything.
Yeah.
So what's the?
Yeah, I would still
Maybe
go there.
just make a couple of moves. Yeah. So here, I would guess that in these cases you end up with some passive positions.
Yeah.
For sure, because here I would say that positionally speaking, once you've made the move e6, you're in a little bit of danger strategically speaking because of this bishop. So you kind of need to disrupt the white setup a little bit, and there are a few ways to do that. I would say, let's say you go e6 on move 1, which is perfectly reasonable. d5, knight f3.
So this is good. You'll see some problem solving here because, as a stronger player, you don't want to shape the guy's repertoire because he plays e6 against everything. So you're not going to tell the guy, don't play e6. That doesn't make sense. So you're going to take e6, probably take d5, and then I imagine we'll mostly want to shape things after that.
Let's go knight f6. That's all right. c5, c3. So this position you will get a lot.
Yeah.
I would say the easiest way, which is very popular now
Are we gonna
at top
see
level, is
Queen c7?
It's bishop
You
to
go back.
d6. So you go back, and now you don't necessarily trade. So first of all, castle, because you're always gonna castle. And the thing is that what kind of pawn break would you like here?
I might trade here.
You rarely want to trade here because white will take back with the e-pawn and get some positional advantage with the half open e-file, and that will also make it much easier for white to jump in with the knight. So you very rarely want to do that, and so here it's not easy.
A lot
for
of
white
people
to,
take on d4
to
as
prevent
black.
this plan actually. Here, queen c7. Most people, I guess, would play knight bishop d3, but now you're ready to strike with e5 already. And once, for instance, castles e5 happens, then trades will happen here, and basically you're just fine. You're just fine, like even.
So once again, a great suggestion from Magnus. This is another like London killer. And why would it not happen to us? Because we wouldn't move back. That's why. We wouldn't play bishop g3. We would play knight d2. Not d takes c5, but we wouldn't move the bishop back. So we would play knight b d2 instead. So we're safe.
You're just fine, like even sometimes very slightly better with the black pieces. So people might want to go for e4.
Definitely
here.
power
But here
nap.
there are a few ways to. No, you got to prevent e5.
Of course,
you got to prevent e5. So that this, for instance, I think is a decent way to play. Now you can go h6, and with the center opened, the white attack here is not really that terrifying. So this is a very solid way to play, and you can get this pretty much regardless. The only way that white can really avoid it to a large degree in this, let's say in this situation, is to jump in with a knight. Normally you want to go with the knight to d7. Knight to c6 is also quite reasonable. The white will normally push f4 to support. And here the difference with the knight on c6 rather than d7 is that you get an excellent square here. And then later you can go to f5, probably you go b6, bishop b7, support the knight jumping in here.
And white's gonna
attack, but you got these knight jumps. Usually the white's attack is not very effective as long as you can have some control of this over this square. So I want to show one more thing. I should mention that if you really want to play French positions, you can also play like this, because you can play b6. And now you prepare this move again, right? But now that I can push in the center.
Yeah.
And actually here, the best move is not to do anything about this.
Just leave it.
Just leave it. And if you go here, what would you normally do in the French? Like you normally go
He's
here,
baiting
right?
him.
Yeah, of course. I know.
Yeah. Most probably you're going to be in some trouble. Yeah. White is.
It's my favorite thing to do when instructing someone. You bait them into a shit answer. So what would you normally do? Yeah, that's right. That's terrible. Gotcha. Here's a lesson for you.
It's gonna attack immediately, and if you
I would. Yeah, I guess.
if you go for f6, I cannot say for sure, but even this could work. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Here it's either queen h5, but also bishop takes h7 and hg5. Yeah, actually this is just checkmate, I think.
That's it.
Here and then queen h7. So actually here you have to go. Yeah, you have to go
Big
here.
brain.
And then you don't really take the bishop too often, but you go g6
And then
later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not looking good for me.
No. It theoretically it's fine for black, but the play with knight bd7, queen c7, knight bd7 is much safer. Yeah. You got to remember that this guy, he needs to breathe.
Yeah.
You gotta at some point be able to either activate it via b7 or to play the move e5 to open up.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, Brad.
Okay, thank you.
But when you're instructing, you have to be from this perspective. I guess you don't have to be, but I would be. My brain wouldn't process things properly if I was trying to explain things the other way. So if I was trying to learn things from the other perspective, like this guy's trying to learn a black setup. So for Magnus, he's just kind of playing into the black setup. Let's see what happens when I go here, and then that lets him kind of observe it from that POV. So I feel like it makes sense because he's not teaching white. Technically, he's teaching a setup for black here about London. And so he's letting the guy kind of experience it from the black side. I think he would be quite confused to have the white pieces, would be my guess.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
My name is Murad. I'm a FIDE master, and I don't have too much experience with London system. I don't play it. I think it's too boring, but maybe it'd be interesting to see some of your thoughts on how to make it more exciting.
For sure. What's interesting about the London is that I think up until about 2015, I thought it was like more or less a system opening. You play the first 5-6 moves automatically, and then you take the game from there. But the point is, I viewed the London as an opening where both players make more or less automatic moves, but that's not the case at all anymore. Like there's long theoretical lines, and what you're doing with white depends very much on what your opponent is doing, right? So
He also needs us to run in the World Cup. I remember he was playing basically in London and every game is white.
yeah,
Those are actually pretty
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've won World Rapid and Blitz championships playing the London almost exclusively. It used to be my kind of go-to.
I like that. Hey, did you see this guy using it in this tournament? Yeah, I've won world championships with it. Yeah. If I could better recognize.
Weapon if I have to win a speed chess game. So it's a good opening if you play it in the right way for an advantage. But nowadays, even the London has been analyzed so much that
it's being milked out.
it's been milked. There are so many lines. But
Curious
it's
what he's going to show him.
How chess evolves. But I feel like, I don't know, playing black, you're usually happy to see.
Yeah, it's not the most dangerous stuff.
No.
Worst case, you like just play solid and ask white how he's gonna play.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in the World Cup against Gukesh as well. I was thinking like, oh, you think you're gonna beat me playing bishop f4? Well, let me play b6. Let us play chess for move 2, and we'll see what happens.
How dare they?
Yeah, exactly. With the black pieces, do you usually go for kingside fianchetto openings?
Yeah, exactly. So usually I go for King's Indian setup, maybe double fianchetto, and then go for like d6, e5 forward.
Yeah, that's very good. I don't think we need a lot of input here. So there are some nuances to this, right? So
Yep, challenging.
d4, knight f6. First of all, if white goes knight f3, you're quite happy because then you can get your setups more or less regardless. But against bishop f4, it is a little bit more tricky because a lot of people who go bishop f4 and move 2, especially at higher levels, they want to go knight c3 against g6. What's normally your reaction when people go bishop f4 and then knight c3?
Yeah, sometimes I can actually just go d5 and if I like prep the thing.
And you feel alright.
Otherwise maybe some weird c5 stuff. It's also possible. It depends on the strength of the opponent.
No, it does for sure. The other way that you can play, since you like playing double fianchetto, is to play the move 2b6. If white proceeds normally, knight f3, bishop b7, e3, g6, and so on, you kind of get everything you want.
But there can be some c4, d5.
So that's the thing. You do allow some other possibilities. There's knight c3, bishop b7, f3, which Gukesh did against me in the World Cup 2 years ago. Okay, let's say you get the double fianchetto, right? Let's say e3, e6, bishop e7, bishop e2, castles, h3.
A sign of respect. Did anyone see it? A sign of mutual respect here. What's different about this interaction compared to all of the others? That's correct, Jumpy. They're both moving the pieces. You have to be 2350 in order to be allowed to touch the pieces. Previously, Magnus was making moves for both sides. Now, we have a participant.
It's a4.
Yeah, here sometimes maybe I go a6.
Yeah, I think you should go a6. You should go a6 or a5 because this is
You don't allow
too much. Yeah, it's too much of a positional threat. So you normally want to go a6. And a lot of
I feel like what we're seeing here is a position I almost want to say exactly from the course. I think it's quite possible it's exactly from the course.
People, they do like bishop h2 because they want to be flexible. c3 maybe.
Yeah, here it can be interesting because you have two breaks and you also
You have two breaks, yeah.
type of ideas.
So like the way that I like to play is often with c5, and then I go rook a7, queen a8, and try and play on the queen side. And the basic idea is that if everything happens over there, this bishop is doing nothing.
Yeah.
But of course, objectively, white is more than fine in this position. Honestly, if you're playing for a win, it's a bit of a dream position.
Yeah,
Every piece is on left on the board, and you are not worse.
Yeah.
Not even remotely worse. So also, like if you're playing the King's Indian, I mean, I guess it's objectively more dangerous for white to start like playing for an early c4 here. Let's say this, and c4. It's still alright for black. Here,
That's correct,
queen
Wankerji.
c2, maybe.
Would not be surprised to learn
e5.
he's higher rated.
No.
Actually, what structure do you go for here? Because doing the normal King's Indian.
Yeah, so this makes it a little bit more difficult, really. You never really want to go e4, especially if white has an aggressive setup here. If white goes for c3 kinds of setups, you can often play e4, but here, white's play over here is happening too quickly, normally. So yeah, I would normally try and take at some point here, maybe knight e4, I don't know. Looks reasonable to me here. There's knight c5 protecting the bishop, so there doesn't seem to be any tactics. At the end of the day, you want kind of normal positions where this bishop is better than this one.
Yeah.
What I just wanted to show is that if people go for the early c3, then you, first of all, e3, you kind of play the London, right? So,
Yeah.
and if they go for an early c3, then you don't get the setup you want, right? Because e3, there's queen b6, so then you don't have these dc5 lines.
But these positions are also weird, yeah? Like this doubled pawns and then straight open file.
Yeah, but it's
kind of-
just good for black.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just good for black.
But you try and get the e5 break, or
No, you
just go
won't.
a3 and then
No, but the thing
Oh.
is, you don't have time.
It's interesting.
A3, B5, knight B2, B2, you already have B4. So you kind of get everything immediately. Okay, I think you were already prepared against the London, but hopefully after today,
so more insight.
you'll feel
It's interesting. These, in a way, you watch the video and you almost feel that the highest rated guy maybe kind of got the least, not least advice. In my opinion, he got the most. But my point is that it's almost as if he understood things the most and maybe benefited the least. But I see it as the complete opposite. First of all, I don't think he was aware of that final position being very good. This is an extremely important nuance for a high-rated player, just to understand that if c3 happens, it's just an extremely poor London and it's unplayable because black will just play d5, knight c6, queen b6, and we don't get to play the early knight d2 variation. So starting with knight f3 just kind of kills that. Like even just small information like that at FM level, I think is quite valuable. And I'm not sure if he was internalizing what Magnus was saying with this double fianchetto setup, but yeah, I suspect that he already plays these positions, so could be quite happy with this setup as well. Rook a7, queen a8, I'm unchained. That setup that Magnus mentioned is also mentioned in my course as well. I think it's relatively common. It looks very cool. Rook a7, queen a8. It's basically the quickest way to get your queen a8. But yes, I did mention this setup. Even this exact position I think is in the course as well. Same with this. And yeah, against b6 following our course, yeah, you would basically get something very similar to what we see here. Yeah, more or less. No, Rook a7 is of course not a supernatural move. It's a supernatural move, not a supernatural move. But I would say for more experienced players in this position, it's quite standard as an idea. Doesn't mean that it's the best one, but for it to even be on your mind, yeah, I would say at his level and above, 2300 and above, you should probably know about that.
pieces on
Left the board.
left on the board. B5, knight B2, BD2, you already have B4. So you kind of get everything immediately. Okay, I think you were already prepared against the London, but hopefully after today,
Some more insight.
you'll feel even more confident playing the London and chasing that IM title.
Hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah. The London system is a fascinating opening. It's played at every level in so many different ways, so many different styles. It has a poor reputation. I don't believe it deserves that at all. I find it very, very interesting. And what's happened in the London system is really a microcosm of what has happened in chess theory for the last 10 years. And it's been fun talking to players at different strength. And I'm actually a little bit excited. I think I'm going to try and play it in the next Blitz game as white. And then obviously playing black. I'm always happy to see it.
Go London. So what I found interesting about the video is that the video is called Magnus Teaches the London to Every ELO. And I feel like what happened is Magnus taught the London to 0 ELO. And then he stopped teaching the London. And he started teaching how to play against the London from there. So he taught the lowest rated player how to play the London. And then he taught everyone else how to play against it. So whoa, slow down there, Magnus. You know, let's get the video from the other perspective, maybe. Dr. Lord Mayonnaise says, a nice video from my friend, Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, but you didn't take much out of it, as you already had access to GM Hambleton's London course. Thank you, DLM. But be careful, that almost reads as support for these guys. Just want to make sure that that nothing of the sort is taking place. I enjoyed the video. What did you guys think? I can say I thought Magnus packed quite a lot of anti-London advice. I feel pretty happy saying that all the advice that he gave, while it's phenomenal, is addressed in our course. And so I don't feel that he, released any sort of nuggets that aren't covered. But they're all great. Like even the intermediate 850 advice, and like basically everybody got a little bit of an anti-London setup. Probably the best one actually was this Queen C7 setup here. I think if you're just even a little bit of a weaker London player as white, maybe you don't have like a course you're explicitly following, you're just kind of like freeballing the opening. This setup here, especially because, 1900 ELO, it's kind of right at that point where people are going to be playing the London as a weapon. This would probably knock out a lot of people's London. Do you think Magnus bought the course? Yeah, no, there's no way he could have produced what we see here without having the course first. So I think that speaks for itself.